Welcome everyone to the Inland Sports Show. Before we start the show, make sure you like this video and you've subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to promote yourself on this show, just send us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. The show starts right now. Garcia's left footed. And welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We are live and amplified here at Teen Vision TV 16. Our director, Johnny Nunez, behind the scenes. And we got a great show for you. A little bit later, we'll talk Ramona softball. The Rams are closing in on another River Valley League championship. We're also going to hear from the new Aquinas softball coach, Lenny Duran, taking over the program mid-season. And the Falcons are 22-0 right now. And in fact, when I last checked, they were beating my mighty ACA Eagles like 16-0. So I think they're 23-0 at this point as we do the show live here on Wednesday night. We're also going to check in at LSU Pro Day and hear from Jaden Daniels as he gets set for the NFL draft, which is in about 3 weeks or so now. So he's going to be in the top 5. Where will he end up? We're going to hear from Jaden as well. But we're going to lead off on the baseball diamond with one of our favorite guys. He has the program trending in the right direction. Again, these guys are always competing hard, always in the thick of things for league titles and deep CIF runs. It is the head coach of your Arlington Lions, Tim Cleveno. And Coach, listen, congrats on another great season so far. But I feel like at this point when you play for Arlington, there's big goals. I mean, it's nice to win a lot of games in the regular season, but at the end of the day, you guys probably want to go deep in CIF. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think the last 2 years, losing early in the playoffs and having such good seasons going into it, you kind of have something to prove this year. So you're hoping you get off and kind of make a deep run each year.
You know, Coach, from year to year, I mean, has the way you strategize for games, the way you manage, has it changed at all? Does it depend on the kind of guys you have on your team that season?
It's hard to say. I think the main thing is getting outside of league and testing ourselves, being in the River Valley League. I think with only playing 10 league games, we try to challenge ourselves outside those league games as best we can. So we definitely want to go out and compete against some programs we definitely don't get to play within our league.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because if people are watching live on Wednesday night, you've got Palos Verdes on Thursday, Loyola on your schedule on Friday. You've got a road game at Temescal Canyon, which actually might be a league game, I'm guessing, come next season. I mean, those are some really good games. Are those obviously not by accident, right? You want to play some really good teams before you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, most definitely. So we try to play when we're in league the last 3 weeks of the season. We play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Just so we can kind of play some of those games. And when we have 2 weeks up, 2 weeks where our league doesn't play. So last week we were able to play Norco, which we came up short that game. But then this week we get to go test ourselves against some different talent.
You know, Coach, I'm looking at your schedule. It looks like your last game of the year is against Bishop Amat. Is that the case?
Yes, it is. Yep.
That's like a playoff game to lead into the playoffs, you know?
Yeah, and I think we did that one mainly because I know that if you're going to make a deep run, you got to win games on the road. So it was kind of one of those things. We wanted to go out and play someone that was going to be a long bus trip, was going to be on the road, and it was going to be a good team. And we were fortunate enough to find a Bishop Amat, needed a game, and it worked out for both of us.
You know, Coach, looking ahead to next season, I'm assuming you guys will be in the Ivy League as you join the Raincross Conference. Is it kind of exciting to maybe have league games against teams like Riverside Poly? I mean, I'm not sure where North is going to end up, but, you know, I mean, you could have some fun, like, you know, in-city games like that.
Yeah, we always want to play the city games, and the vibe is tough to recreate when you're not playing them in league. So playing those, we've played each team this year, and there's some great coaches within our school district with some great programs. So we definitely want to play them, and having it be a league game and multiple times throughout the season, I think that's something we've missed. We've had that with Ramona, and it's been fun. I'd like to see more teams hopefully end up in the Ivy League, and that comes back at one time. But for right now, we'll take what we get.
Coach, you've got, again, another great team. You've got some studs on your squad. I'm going to butcher his last name, but Kasampanth? Am I getting close?
It's Kasampanth, and his brother pitched for us in 21, and it's his younger brother who's had a heck of a start of a season, and he's only a sophomore, so he's learning as he goes, too.
Do you know how to spell it, his last name, off the top of your head?
I do. I've been spelling it so long, so I do, but it's one of those things you got to write it and go at the same time because it's so long.
Yeah, because I was writing it down, but I was trying to do it phonetically and not exactly how it looks. So credit to you because, again, you've had to write it for several years now between the two guys. But, Coach, let's do some name dropping. Who have been the guys this year for the Arlington Lions?
I think it's been the pitching and defense for us. And we've had guys just step up. And I think Troy Kasampanth's been one of the guys, and I think kind of exceeding some expectations. We forget sometimes that he is a sophomore because he did pitch a little bit for us last year. And then another one is Nathan Chavez, who's a junior going to CBU. So he's been absolutely a stud for us this year. And then a guy that I don't think we really had in the mix going into the season, but a kid named Anthony De Leon. He's been a reliever for us, and he's probably vultured 3 or 4 wins because he's come in when we're down or it's tied, and he's kind of really stepped up. So those 3 main guys on defense have really, on the pitching end, have really stepped up.
You know, Coach, I don't know if I'm old-fashioned, but I love 2-1 games as opposed to like a 9-7 game. Do you kind of fall in that same boat where you'd like a good pitcher's duel and limit the mistakes and every pitch matters?
Well, yeah, you definitely want to be on the winning side of those things, and they'll make you better. But I think as a coach, it'd be fun if we'd blow some things open every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, yeah, that's stressful situations right there. But if you can give your starting pitcher some run support and build that big lead, I'm sure that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Coach, your son Jack Knife, he's at the University of Utah. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's enjoying his freshman year. Learning from the older guys, sucking it all in, being a sponge. I know my wife and we're extremely proud of him, and I think he's extremely happy, and I'm learning a lot from their coaching staff.
Well, Coach, going back to your team this season, we talked about the goals and trying to go deep in CIF. You guys are Division II this season, which even Division II, there are so many great teams out there. What do you think you guys have to do well for the rest of the regular season to feel like you guys are peaking at the right time for the playoffs?
I think pitching and defense needs to maintain. If we can be consistent with that, we'll be in baseball games. I think, however, this last week when we played Norco, we were tested a little bit, and I think offensively, hopefully that was one of those losses that you learn from. And you kind of go back to the drawing board and kind of go over some things that hopefully make you better offensively. But I think offensive execution and having more quality at bats throughout the season, so we don't ask our pitchers to be so perfect at times.
Is it hard, Coach? And maybe it's not difficult, but to live in the moment right now and try not to think about the playoffs and what you guys need to be doing, by the time you reach the postseason? Do you have to just kind of worry about, Palos Verdes on Thursday and then just getting through River Valley League play, I suppose?
Yeah, I think as a coach, you really need to have your team understand that it's one game at a time, and you need to focus on that. But in the back of your mind, when you're practice planning and you're kind of going over things, you're trying to foresee the future on where you need to be. So you're kind of doing some things at practice to kind of implement what will make us better down the road. But you got to kind of stay in the moment and understand, it's tomorrow. It's practice. It's getting better today and taking that one game at a time approach.
And Coach, obviously you play to win the game. The win-loss record is important. You guys, let's see, I think, what was it, 14-2? 14-2, 4-0 in the River Valley League. But it sounds like you're a big practice guy as well. Like, do you feel like games can be won on the practice field, like what you guys do during practice has a huge effect on the way you guys are going to play, let's say even tomorrow when you play that non-league game against Palos Verdes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of reset things. The practice is huge, and I think we kind of hit the reset button after the Narco loss, which was kind of a heads up, and we had to kind of go back and review some things. And our practice plan in the last 3 days, we put in some hours, and we normally don't put in the longest hours the day before a game, but we were on the field today till about 5:30, going over stuff. But I think practice is where it gets done, and that's kind of where kids show you what they can do. It's got to be earned in practice. I mean, I want to put you in a game. If you can show me you can do it at practice. So definitely practice is where it's at.
If I can steal a term that kids are using these days, vibe, do you kind of base practice off the vibe of the team? Like, do you feel like, hey, these guys are locked in, they're working hard, I don't want to push them over the top, or maybe they're, slacking off a little bit. They don't seem focused. You got to go a little, dig in a little bit deeper at practice. Do you kind of feel that vibe with how the team is?
Yeah, and I think sometimes I do. I mean, you don't want to overdo it. You want to keep guys fresh. So if things are going well, you want to keep them going well. But if we need to refocus and regroup, then we need to go back and we need to put the time and energy in. So yeah, I guess you could say we kind of roll with the vibe these days. But at the end of the days, it's fundamentals and discipline. So that's kind of what we focus on.
And finally, Coach, and I know a lot of baseball guys are superstitious. They'll eat the same thing. They'll go through the same routine. They'll walk the same way to the field or whatever the case may be. Have you ever been like that? Like, hey, things are going well. We've won 15 in a row. I'm not going to change anything.
Yeah, I think every baseball player is superstitious in a way. So, I mean, but we're constantly looking at things where we can improve. But if you're winning baseball games, how much do you want to change? But you definitely want to make sure you're doing the right things to make your program better and your team better for the games ahead. And so going into the Palos Verdes game, which we played in the semifinal of 2021, and we know they're really coached well, we just got to make sure we take it a day at a time. And we're superstitious, but sometimes you got to be practical.
Well, Coach, gosh, it's a great 3-game stretch coming up before you guys return to River Valley League with Palos Verdes, Loyola, and then on the road at Temescal Canyon on Saturday. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys can gain some really, valuable experience in those games to get you ready for the D2 playoffs. It sounds like it will.
Yeah, most definitely. We're looking forward to it. It should be fun. I think the kids are excited about it. I'm looking forward to 3 games in a row, see how we respond. And the one good thing about our team is the depth this year, and hopefully in the next 3 games, we'll use some guys that we haven't been able to use in the past and see how they perform.
Well, Coach Cleveno, I always appreciate the time. Thank you for jumping on the Inland Sports Show to talk about your Lions having another great season, and can't wait to see what you guys do in the postseason in D2.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and appreciate you having us on.
Yes, sir. You got it. That's Tim Cleveno, the head coach for the Arlington Lions baseball team here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we'll talk some high school softball, including the Aquinas Falcons. 22-0, probably 23-0 as we do this show live on Wednesday night. We'll be right back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken. Are you focusing too much on your child's athletic ability? That is this week's Gridiron Question with the one and only Boost man, Ray Bass, here at the Boost Performance Center. And Coach Bass, this is for the parents out there. What are they emphasizing? Maybe the wrong things in their child's life.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I do see a lot of parents who focus too much on their child's, raw talent and not putting enough emphasis on them being just good human beings. I've said it before that there's so many kids who don't make it every year, who fall off for one reason or another. And a lot of times it's not about their talent. It's about who they are as individuals, their lack of coachability, them being lazy, their huge egos. Those are all things that stand in the way of them reaching the higher levels. I always tell my athletes that, talent may get you through the door, but who you are keeps you there. So I feel that parents need to invest just as much in who their kids are as little people as they do their overall talent.
That all makes sense. And unfortunately, we've heard too many stories of great athletes. It's the other stuff that keeps them from reaching their full potential. You can help that here at Boost, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's what our values are. Yeah. When kids step in this building, whether they're training with us, whether they're attending our prep school, it's all about that. It's so much about the intangibles and not just about, like I always say, creating robots and just bigger, stronger, faster.
All right, well, you can get a well-rounded athlete right here at the Boost Performance Center. That is the one and only Boost man, Ray Bass. This has been the Gridiron Question. Make sure you hit us up on the DMs on any Boost Training social media platform if you've got a future Gridiron Question. Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody, live and amplified here at Teen Vision TV 16. We're talking some baseball. In fact, the Inland Empire 66ers, proud affiliate of the LA Angels, they'll open up their season at home on Friday night at San Manuel Stadium. Of course, weather permitting. We've got a bunch of rain coming in, looks like, on Friday. In fact, it's going to be really cold, at least where I live, in my neck of the woods here in the IE. It's going to get down into the 30s, so it's going to be pretty cold, but we got baseball season starting up. Speaking of the 66ers, an affiliate of the Angels, for our Big Boost Play of the Week, we're taking you out to the Big A, the home of the Angels, but it was the Moreno Valley Vikings feeling right at home. Yeah, Moval playing a game at Angel Stadium against Long Beach Wilson. And here in extra innings, top of the 8th, Moreno Valley takes the lead 6-5 on Wilson. So that's the top of the 8th inning, extra innings. So Wilson's going to get their at-bats in the bottom half of the frame, but you know what? It would not be enough. Here's the final out of the game, a little pop-up here, and that's it. Moreno Valley wins 6-5 at the Big A. What a great experience, right? For the Moreno Valley baseball team to play at Angel Stadium. I know we've had a couple local teams. I think Bloomington played Rancho Verde at the Big A a couple weeks ago, so it's really cool to see those high school teams playing in Major League Parks. That's our Big Boost Play of the Week. Moval, an extra inning win against Long Beach Wilson. Congratulations to them. All right, from baseball now to softball. Our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game this week. In fact, it's still going on right now. Valley View and Riverside Poly going head-to-head. Poly has not lost in 21 straight games. Valley View came in undefeated, 11 wins, no losses, and one tie. So 2 great programs going head-to-head for first place in the Ivy League. I just checked Twitter. They were tied at 1 in extra innings. So if you're watching us live on Wednesday evening, we have not seen the final score yet. They were playing extra. That's how good and how close competitively these 2 teams are. That's our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game, Valley View and Pauley in softball. Speaking of softball, we told you Riverside Pauley has not lost in 21 consecutive games. Well, the Aquinas softball team, they're on a 22-game winning streak to open up the season. In fact, it's probably 23 by now because they were playing Arrowhead Christian on Wednesday afternoon. Last check, they were up 16-0. In fact, that might be the final score. So it's going to be 23 games and counting, 23-0 to start the season for the Aquinas softball team. And what's just as impressive is they actually had a coaching change mid-season. Chris Ibarra is no longer the head coach of the Falcons. Lenny Durant has stepped in, but Aquinas hasn't missed a beat. This team is winning a lot of games, and they will be a force in the playoffs. Here's their new head coach, Lenny Durant, talking about this year's team, who is 23-0.
I think the biggest thing right now that we got going on is that they're playing as a team, and they're playing well together. Whether I have the 9 starters, I have people in the dugout that can do just the same as the 9 starters. So that helped me out a lot. And I think that with that being said, the team knows that they can come in and fill in at any time. So it's great for a coach. And so, and the players know it. So they're comfortable, coming in and out of the game. So there's no one better than the other. I think they all contribute. And so I think that makes it where they can kind of gel together.
And you can find more on the Aquinas softball team, including more of that interview with Coach Duran on Sports Weekly on IEMG this week. So look for that. And speaking of our show, Sports Weekly on the Inland Empire Media Group, TV3, check out Elias Casas, because you're going to find an interview with Elias. He's a Cajon High School wrestler, 3-time Citrus Belt League champion, won the title this year at 120 pounds, took 5th place at Masters, and made it to the CIF state meet. So we have an exclusive interview with Elias Casas, Cajon High School wrestling star, on Sports Weekly on IEMG this week. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. It's back to softball. The Ramona Rams will check in. Head coach Laura Shiner doing another great job. In fact, they just had some big wins against Hillcrest and Arlington. I know they have a big series still on the horizon against Patriot. Things are looking pretty good right now for the Ramona High School softball team. So we'll talk with Ram High when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
Do nutrition supplements really build muscle? Absolutely, if you know what to take and how to take it. First, it's important to understand that muscle doesn't build itself. Any use of supplements should be backed by a solid strength program. Second, timing is key. Consuming supplements at the right time makes them that much more effective. Lastly, make sure you're consuming the right supplements. For my athletes, I always recommend carbohydrates, whey protein, and a high-quality creatine. Your boy, Boostman.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway at Ayala Drive. Eat more chicken.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Inland Sports Show. We're live and amplified here at Teen Vision TV 16. We're talking more high school softball, and we're talking Ram High. Coach Shiner has been so generous with her time. She's popped on the show a bunch of times over the years, and it's Laura Shiner and the Rams. And Coach, listen, we all, I seem like we check in every single year, and it seems like the same interview. Like, you guys are great. You're competing for a league championship. You're hoping for a deep CIF run. Am I wrong to say that it's the same story this year?
It is the same story. We started a little slow this year. We were trying to find our identity. We have a lot of starters back, but we moved around and people are playing in different positions. I think we only have 3 starters playing the actual position they played last year. And so it took a while to get things running, but things are good.
As a coach, does that make it fun or does that make it stressful when you're putting players in different positions?
We have confidence in everybody that's on the team. So it was challenging at first, but the girls have bought in and, you know, some of them are playing positions they've never played before and they're thriving. It's great.
All right, so Coach, if people are watching the show live on Wednesday night, obviously they can see that you're with the team. It looks like you're having a team dinner. So we're all curious, what did you guys have for dinner?
We had Butch's Grinders tonight.
I love Butch's.
Yes. Yes, we had Butch's.
You can't go wrong with that. And Coach, I want to talk to Olivia Chavez in just a moment. But before I get to Olivia, I do want to ask you, you've had a handful of league games so far. Big wins against Arlington, big wins against Hillcrest. I know a big series against Patriots still coming up. But what have you liked about this team so far? You said it's kind of a slow start, but what do you like about the team right now?
They have a lot of fight in them. And it doesn't matter if we're ahead or we get behind. They never quit on each other. They play hard, and they want to take everybody down. We respect every team that we play in our league, and we want to be on top, and we have to go out and prove that every single day.
Well, Coach Shiner, it's no secret. Obviously, if you've got an ace in the circle and you've got a couple power hitters in the lineup, you're probably going to win a lot of games. We got Olivia Chavez, who she's hitting home runs, she's driving people in, and she's a big reason that you guys are scoring a lot of runs this season. Olivia, in your estimate, why do you think the team is playing so well at this point of the season? What are you guys doing well as a team?
I think we've definitely just come together more. And we also all just now have the common goal, and we know what needs to be fixed and what needs to happen for us to be successful.
Are you playing in the correct position, Olivia, or has Coach got you somewhere crazy this year?
No, I'm still in center.
Olivia, so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got 5 home runs this season. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
So when the ball hits the bat, do you know pretty much that one's gone? You don't have to watch it sail over the fence. Does it sound different? Does it feel different?
I mean, sometimes I make good contact and it somehow still stays in. So I always run it out just in case. So, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want Coach yelling at you anyways, coming back to the dugout saying, why didn't you run that out? That was a stand-up double. What are you doing? Or whatever the case might be. Olivia, so what are the goals for this team this season? Obviously, a league championship would be nice, but do you feel like this team is built for maybe a deep CIF run as well?
Yes, I do. I think we definitely have the chemistry for it. We definitely have the work ethic for it. It's just a matter of, keeping it rolling.
All right, Coach, looks like your screen froze. We can still hear you okay, but it looks like the screen is frozen. I don't know if it looks frozen on your end as well, but we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, Coach, it does look frozen on this end.
Maybe whose house is that? Whose internet? Can they get better internet there?
Coach doesn't have good internet.
Hey, Johnny, if you can hear me, why don't you just go to my shot until their shot unfreezes. But, Coach, I did want to ask you about, what are some areas that you feel like this team can still get better going forward? You're playing, at a high level right now, but where are some areas that you feel like we can still improve, clean things up, and be even better when the playoffs roll around?
I think with everything, every day we go to practice and, we set goals at practice and what we want to achieve. But I think every aspect of our game has room to grow. And our pitchers are working super hard. They're in the bullpen every day throwing. And we spend a lot of time hitting, working on defense, everything. So I think everything can improve. And I think that's the mindset that the whole entire team has. And they come out every day and they work extremely hard and want to get better. And we know that, we're in Division II this year, and there's not a bad team in Division II. So every team is extremely competitive and tough, and everybody has a really high strength of schedule. So when we do get to the playoffs, it doesn't get easy.
Yeah, Coach, I'm looking at your schedule. You played some really good teams in non-league action to start things off. But I'm even looking the next couple of days. You got King, you've got JW North on Thursday. Obviously in the River Valley League, you play some of those in-town rivals in league play in RVL. But is it important to play the other teams in the city, like King and like JW North?
I think so. And I think it's fun just for the community. I know Coach Mush with football, it's his goal every year to play as many RUSD schools as possible. And we look to do the same thing every year. If it works out in our schedules and we can play each other, that's great. It's fun. The kids have grown up together and, the families all come out and it's a good time.
All right, last question, even though people are just looking at me. It's still frozen, right, Johnny? Yeah, it's still frozen.
It's still frozen.
So they have to stare at me, which is unfortunate. But Coach, so what's the sandwich that's most popular with Butch's Grinders? I don't know, does everyone get the roast beef, the turkey? What's the most popular sandwich on team dinner night?
Turkey sandwiches for this group.
You can't go wrong with turkey.
And flamin' hot Cheetos.
That's the dinner of champions right there.
Yes.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate it. Olivia as well. Thank you guys so much. And congrats on the season so far. But I know for you guys, there's still a lot of season in front of you. And hopefully, I know D2's tough, but hopefully a deep playoff run as well.
Thank you so much, Pep, for having us. Horns up.
That's it. Ram high. Coach Shiner and the Rams here on the Inland Sports Show. Thanks again, Coach. We really do appreciate it. All right, when we come back, we're going to head down to LSU Pro Day. We're going to check in with Jaden Daniels, the former Cajon High School quarterback, getting ready to make his jump to the NFL in just a couple of weeks. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show.
Do you know how many calories you should be consuming every day? Too often I talk to athletes who want to build lean muscle, and the first thing they do is either buy a big tub of protein or drastically cut their calories. Like competing, to get the win with nutrition, athletes need a solid game plan. This means a diet that consists of complex carbs, lean proteins, and essential fats. And more importantly, knowing how much to eat of each. Your boy, Boost Man.
Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. We're going to wrap things up like this, talk a little local football with our guy Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School, your Heisman Trophy winner, getting ready for the 2024 NFL Draft, which will take place in Detroit beginning on Thursday night, April 25th. Now, Jaden just had his pro day at LSU, where he got to work out for a bunch of coaches and executives, general managers. All the NFL teams were there. It's hard to say where Jaden's going to end up, but people are speculating he might go number 2 to Washington, maybe number 3 to New England. But one of the mock drafts I saw actually today had him going number 5 to the Las Vegas Raiders. So think about this. Jaden Daniels at quarterback, Alexander Madison at running back, and all San Bernardino, special teams in the backfield. That would be amazing, but it's hard to say. I mean, Jaden could go as high as number 2, assuming that Caleb Williams from USC goes number 1. It looks like that's a slam dunk for the Chicago Bears at number 1. But after that, is it Jaden or Drake May at number 2? And then maybe Jaden would fall to the Raiders at 5. There's a lot still up in the air, but as you're about to hear from Jaden Daniels, it really doesn't matter. He's just waiting to hear his phone ring, and he'll know where he's going in the NFL. Here's Jaden Daniels from LSU Pro Day.
This is something they got to do their homework, but I'll say for both, it's like, who's going to invest in me, who's going to believe in me, kind of like LSU did on and off the field, as a man and a player. So I'll say that's kind of the biggest thing, but they probably already did their homework. They know who I am as a person and who I am as a player. It's the same answer for everybody. It's whoever want to draft me, whoever believe in me. The stuff that I can't control who, calls my phone on draft day. It is what it is, but just the reports out there, obviously sometimes you got to call out cap for people. So, that's what I had to do. It would be a blessing wherever I go, just to hear my name called. With them, it's a new regime there. Obviously, Cliff Kingsbury is at Arizona and what he done in his track record with quarterbacks. Dan Quinn, a good head coach. Obviously, when he was with the Falcons as a head coach, obviously led them to the Super Bowl. So it's just good to see the new regime and see what plan they have in place. For whoever they take, one of the quarterbacks and moving forward. Same vibe for everybody. Who's going to invest me, and believe in me as a man, as a quarterback, on and off the field. God wouldn't put me in nothing that he didn't feel I can handle. So obviously he put me in this position. My life is already mapped out. Only he knows. So it's just going out there. I feel like I'll be ready. It's a learning curve for everything. I'm just ready, hear my name called and then go in there just ready to learn and, meet my new teammates.
Man, what a couple of months for Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner, now getting ready for the NFL Draft. It's going to be amazing. He had a great storied career at Cajon High School, rewrote the CIF Southern Section record book. Whatever offensive category you're thinking about for a quarterback, Jaden Daniels authored that record because his name is all over it. Touchdowns, passing yards, completions. Jaden Daniels, a record setter in high school and now just weeks away now, I guess April 25th, so about 3 weeks away from the NFL Draft. Well, big thanks to our guest tonight, the Ramona High School softball team. Even if they are frozen, big thanks to the Rams and Coach Clevino for the Arlington baseball team. Really do appreciate it. And I'm going to look in the live chat. If anyone has that Riverside Poly Valley View score, I'd love to see it. That was a softball battle, our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game going to extra innings if you're watching our show live on Wednesday evening. All right, the biggest shout out of all goes to our guy Johnny Nunez here at Teen Vision TV 16, behind the scenes, making it all happen. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.